The first speaker in this session is Excellency Dr.Najib Abou Karaki, President of King Al Hussein bin Talal University. The lecture title Meteorizing Hazard Related to the Dead Sea Water Level Lowering 1991 to 2019 from Field Work, Geophysics to Space Techniques. Dr. Najib, you can introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Shukran jazeeran, you did that very well. I'm a professor of seismology at the University of Jordan and nowadays the president of the university at ICWRAE, but this is not permanent. I'm a professor, first of all. Can we have the lecture, please? The PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the hazards related to the lowering of the Dead Sea. In fact, it's the work it's my work, my teamwork also for the last 30 years. The main problem is, in fact, the diversion of the River Jordan, which meant that the Dead Sea is losing nowadays about 1.3 billion cubic meters of water every year. This created an imbalance and a deficit in the water budget of the Dead Sea, which means that what is coming to the Dead Sea is much lower than what's used to come. Now the evaporation is exceeding what is coming, so the level of the Dead Sea is lowering nowadays. We say that the level of the Dead Sea is lowering, and we know that it was already the lowest point on Earth. The lowest point on Earth is getting lower, and this will create problems, as we will see in the presentation. This is a teamwork, of course, and mainly with my colleague Damien Pousson from Belgium. We are working together from 1996. I started in 1991 working with the Dead Sea. So this is the Dead Sea in 2015. Just see the central part of this picture and compare it with what it used to be in 1963. It was slim, now it's very fat. In fact, the Dead Sea lost about a third of the surface of its water. A third of the surface of the Dead Sea means that we have about 30% of what used to be Dead Sea is now a fragile geological environment, as we will see. This is a GPS track from one of our field visits from Amman to the Dead Sea, which took place in 2005. If we put this GPS track of 2005 on the satellite image of 1987, you see that some parts which used to be the Dead Sea now are, in fact, geologically land. This is also the same picture, the same GPS track, if we put it on the image of the year 1973. All these on that are roads nowadays. So the Dead Sea lost a third of its surface. I would like to tell you that the level of the Dead Sea used to be at this level, the level of the red arrow in the very famous Mujib Bridge in Jordan. It used to be at this level in the 1950s. The level of that arrow is up there, and I'm just in the arrow, the down arrow, I'm just beside it. Also, to have an idea, the shore of the 60s used to be at the level of the car. All these are new lands. This is also where the shore used to be in the 1990, 2000, 2016, 2006, 2010, etc. So the sea is going towards, in fact, the sea is losing some of its surface. We know that if the water level is lowering, there will be some problems. They are related to the formation of sinkholes and also some tunnels, as you can see in the picture. This is a sinkhole in 1992 in the Dead Sea area, and this is a sinkhole, a rather romantic one, in 2005, in also near the Dead Sea. In 10 years' time, it became like this. As you can see, just to show you the evolution of this kind of problems. And now, for an area like this, this means that in about 2 to 3 months, you can have this kind of proliferation of sinkholes. You have to imagine that any one of them can take a whole hotel inside it. It's 25 meters deep, sometimes 8 floors deep, sinkholes. The phenomenon is known in the world. This is in Guatemala, and it took place on the 24th of February 2007 with casualties. This is in Florida. And just please remember that it formed without warning in a matter of minutes, which means that it can come without any warning. This is a rather old one in Florida, but Florida is very famous with this phenomenon. There was the demolition of this also hotel, 5-star hotel for White Disney Resort, took place in 2013 in Florida also. And these are the facts about it, and it was because of the formation of the sinkhole at its foundations. I used to give lectures, and this is maybe the 100th time I give this lecture everywhere. This was in 2001 in one of our clubs, just to make the people aware of the problems. As you can see, this is a very nice guy, but he is vulnerable. Any problem, he will lose. We would like the people just to be more aware of this problem so as to be ready to face it, just like this, for example. In 2009, there was an interview with the BBC, and they just gave me this title, من أوائل من لاقوا ناقوس الخطر. في ناس حاليا, and excuse me for the Arabic speaking some phrases, في ناس حديثين جدا على هذا الموضوع, يعني بدأوا فيه في سنة 2012 وبتمارسوا كل الشغل السابق في هذا المجال, بدنا نحاول نأكل, وهم الناس مش عرب يعني. This is my team, in fact, from 1991 to 2017, 2018. They are multicultural, multidisciplinary. You have Belgium, Ireland, and Italy, Spain, Jordan, and also Belgium. They try to advertise for this problem in Europe, as in this lecture here. This is me in the front of this, in the middle of this picture. And I try to do it in the Arab world, and sometimes in other places too. So this is the story, this is our story. It's too complicated to be spoken in details, but I will give you some of the insights of this work. 1991 in Ghor Khalifa, you have this problem. It's just a tensional crack, a small one. In 1995 it became like this. In 1998 it became like this. You see the evolution and the dynamics of this problem. And in 2004, no streets at all in that area. I used to go there just to monitor this lowering there. My car is, as you can see, and one time we found that it is closed because there was a sinkhole at the very place where I used to put my car. This is my car, and this is the sinkhole. We will see it in detail. It's a 10-meter sinkhole in that area, and you have just beside it a sister of it, 19 meters deep. So that was in 1995. In 1994, we made a geophysical study there. We just took an area, just a test area of 300 meters by 600 meters and measured gravity measurements. We measured the acceleration of gravity every 15 meters a measure. And the result is this. Unfortunately, something is, okay, it's good. All these points where you have black circles, there are you have potential cavities under them, because we have negative gravity anomaly in geophysics under them. No mass to attract, so a deficit in the acceleration of gravity. This was our study. It took 6 months. Here I stopped and said, if I want to cover the whole Dead Sea, I need 250 years to do that. It's not practical. We have to do something else. Okay? I issued this warning after that study in 1997, telling the people to be aware of the problems in Ghor Khalifa, where you have 50 sinkholes that are threatening people. Now I can say that we have about 1,000 sinkhole threatening people. What was the reaction of the authorities at that time? Yeah. And the press, of course, not only the authorities. The press attacked us and said that these are fake studies. They are designed just to frighten people. نهدف فقط بالاستيلاء على الأراضي لعملها مشاريع سياحية. هل وصلنا إلى مرحلة التزوير العلمي? Are we doing fake science just to try to threaten people? Of course, this was in 1997 in the same Al-Dastur newspaper in Jordan. Of course, later the truth will appear clearly. 1995, you have this problem in a social security touristic place. 4 years later, other people went and mapped the sinkhole that took place really in the area. The black circles are their map. We just put it on our map. And you can see that there's a good correlation between our predictions based on geophysics and what happened really. Accidents also followed. In the year 2000, a donkey and a boy fell into a well, as they say. It's not a well, in fact, it's a sinkhole, just like this one. A year later, in the year 2000, 23rd of March 2000, a dike, 12-kilometer dike of the Arab Potash Company was broken just weeks after its construction. This costed at least $100 million, this accident. And it's because of the sinkholes in the red arrows which were in the foundations of that dike. This is the dike up before its destruction, 12 days before. Just see this photograph, and you see this image also. 12 days after the accident, 55 million cubic meters of pre-pumped water from the Dead Sea just went back to the Dead Sea in 1 hour, with all the losses that this means. Now please fasten your seat belts. اربطوا الأحزمة لأنه الآن بدنا نقنعكم تماما يعني. فكروا بأنه هذا أوتيل على سبيل المثال. بنلاحظ إنه في we have a good plant, another one which is dead. Why it's dead? Because there is a cavity under it, no soil on its roots. May 2007, you have cracks also. In September 2007, problems started. In May 2008, you have half of the house vanished, as you can see. 2008, a year later, this is the scene. And this can show you the evolution of this kind of problems in that area. 25 meters is the depth of the sinkhole. Now, the depth of the sinkhole is variable now, and it's in fact proportionally proportional to the lowering of the Dead Sea itself. So nowadays, if the Dead Sea is lowered 40 meters, you can find sinkholes with 40 meter deep or depth. This is the same area. I will go so quickly, but follow. There we have 16 billion GDs of investments. It's $22 billion in that area nowadays, planned and also done, some of them. This is the Minister of Tourism in Jordan. But in an area where if you analyze it from a geomorphological point of view, we have lots of problems in that area. We have sources, seepage, etc., and fragile areas. Let's return to the Social Security station, which was destroyed in 1999. In 2003, they just decided to build another one at its place without asking themselves why they were destroyed. And at that time, we got the Holiday Inn idea. We followed that idea, of course. Well, all the Holiday Inn, in fact, used to be underwater in 1997. This is what the image says. So we will have problems. In 2007, they started building it, as you can see. This is in 2008, it's almost finished. 2009, you have the problems going just towards it. And 2009, you have sinkholes just near the foundations of that hotel, with also this Jack Hammer. Just remember it, because راح نترحم عليه كمان شوية. 2009, as you can see, and the hotel, and 2012 it collapsed, the whole shore, as you can see, and the jackhammer was absolutely lost. Nothing is appearing from it. It's under all this destruction. But we have a loader بتاخون وجرافة يعني، وهذا ما تبقى منهم after this collapse. I will go rather quickly now. This is also another structure, one important structure in that area, and what they are doing just to protect it, but they succeeded in protecting it from the laterally, but in fact there is something more worrying, I think, and they are not thinking of this, these worries. All this just to protect this structure, this very important one. You have seepage of water from under this structure, which means that there may be some dissolved salt that is being solved with this water. In fact, I had to tell you that when the Dead Sea is retreating, it will suck the water from the two sides just to try and compensate this loss of water. And the water which is coming is soft water. It's replacing what used to be very saline water, which means that this water is capable of dissolving salts. And when it dissolves salts in these structures, this will create cavities. And when this creates cavities, this may create catastrophes also. This is a picture of one of the figures, figure 8 in our last paper, which appeared on the 10th of October 2018. As you can see, the story, you have the structure, you have the seepage of water here, and you have plants just in front of it, which means that the water is really soft, which means that it is potentially dangerous. They have rooms just like this and conference places. You can never guarantee that there is no cavity under this kind of structures. Hotels, 5-star hotel. This is the Movenpick, just like the one you put me in. Thank you very much. If it was there, I will think of it twice. As you can see, this is a 5-star hotel. Another one. You see the deformations almost everywhere in the structures there. This is also a 5 to 4.5 stars hotel. This is a Dead Sea spa. As you can see, it's not normal to have this kind of cracks in this area. This is another hotel. I will go quickly. O Beach. The previous one is the Holiday Inn and is the Hilton one. And the picture was taken in the end of 2017. For this one, it's in the Marriott Hotel. And a particularity of this structure, it wasn't yet finished. So the contractor didn't give it to the hotel just to use it. It's still in work, and it happened. The destruction happened like this in the Marriott Hotel at that place. Another problem is the infrastructure there, which is characterized by many bridges like this. One of the bridges lost one of its pillars in the year 2017. It's just near the OH beach. You see that the road is closed here, and they made the necessary things. They made this detour just to avoid the damaged bridge at that time. They left one way to pass over that bridge. And this is the case on April 2018. You see the bridge, and you see what they made as a detour just to help the circulation of, it's an international highway, in fact. And this is what happened in October 2018. These are this is the detour, and this is the completely destroyed bridge at that area. I talked about this, in fact, on Facebook on October 18, 2017. And for the people who understand Arabic, بالنسبة لليس أن الموضوع بنظري موضوع أسابيع إلى أشهر ولا أعتقد أبدا بأنه سيتعدى سنتين. It's not going to last 2 years. It may be destroyed in weeks, months, but not more than 2 years. And in 1 year, it collapsed, that bridge completely. This is another one. In fact, the picture here, I don't know whether it's blurred like this, but it's very nice here, and you can see that it was restored absolutely and completely in 2012. And this is the case, this is Italy. Here it is in November 2018. It's still in work nowadays, and when you go there, don't look at the west, you are not going to see anything. But it is, of course, as you can see, problematic. And here there was a catastrophe almost on the 25th of October 2018, where about 21 students, children, lost their lives in this area. This is another bridge. Another one, we saw it, and I noticed the problems in the 14th of October 2017. A week later, this happened to this bridge. Of course, this is not related to the lowering of the Dead Sea, but it's related maybe to the quality of the bridge itself sometimes. Here, let's return back to Bor Haditha, from which I issued a warning in 1997. 6 months after that warning, they built a factory there. And it was inaugurated by his late King Hussein bin Talal on the 29th of December 1997. 6 months exactly after my warning. Here is the place. Here it is in 2009, 2008. Just look at these structures. A year later, it became like this. 2008, 2009, the same place, 2009. Now look at this room in blue. It's very important just to tell you, if you go there, that this is really the place, because you can ask yourself whether you are in the same place or not, because it's absolutely destroyed now, as you can see like this. Now the solution. There's no solution that's going to come from the Red Dead for this problem in particular. If they do it, and they are just hesitating to do it now, you will need 30 years before seeing any positive steps towards stabilizing the area, if we can talk hydrogeology, for example. So the solution is to try and stop meddling with the nature there, and try also to prevent, or at least to minimize the risks, to minimize the problems, to minimize the casualties, by using a combination of field work and satellite radar interferometry, which measures nowadays the deformations at the millimetric level in that area. If it generalizes to the whole Dead Sea area, you can see the history of all the deformations in that area from 1992 up to now. You can focus on any area you want and see the deformations that are taking place there and take the decision. If you do not see any deformations, you can build anything without any special engineering. If you have some deformations which are mild, you can use some intelligent engineering, dynamic one, taking into account what's going to take place in this area in the next 20 years or 30 years. If it is like some examples that I'm going to give to you, just keep away from this. You cannot resist nature. Of course, we succeeded from 2002, and this was published in 2002, because there are people now talking about an early warning system in that area, starting in 2012, ignoring absolutely 50 papers we wrote about this problem, without any citation for us. They are talking about interferometry and early warning system. بستطيع أقولكم أن عندنا تقدم عن أي كان في العالم لا يقل عن 10 سنوات. لكن ينقصنا شوية تمرين. لأنه حاليا يعني for this time, excuse me for a shift. Nowadays we are working with what we can get from the satellite images freely. We cannot afford them, unfortunately. So recursive deformations of a dike collapse, when you focus on the Arab Potash Company dike, which collapsed in the year 2000, 7 years before, it gave signs that it's very actively subsiding, indeed, by using interferometry and also the geophysical studies of the gravimetry. You have a very negative gravity anomaly, minus 120 milligals. The biggest sinkhole we detected in that area is 0.34 milligal. Here you have 120 milligals. This is the truth without any maquillage. As you can see, we detected this in the dike 18, just near the 19 and 9 in 2005. Just to repair it, they needed $16 million. In the year 2000, we proposed to them to build a whole laboratory for them in this area for the cost of $0.5 million, and they didn't give it to us. To repair one dike, they have 22, they paid 16, and for the one they lost, they paid at least 100 million. In the year 2012, I don't know whether you can see it well, but in the area where you have these coordinates, there is a circular structure, 300 meters diameter. We told them they amputated the dike just to preserve it, to protect it, because we detected also by the interferometry that the deformation field is taking with it the structure of the dike itself. What we can do in the area, on this area of the Risan area, we can click on any point which is about 2-3 acres, for example, and tell you how it behaved from the year 1992 up to now. For this particular red point, don't construct anything on it, because it's going to be swallowed. But sometimes, if you can see the picture here, if you have a straight line, which means that there is no deformation, you can do anything you want. If you see that it is slightly going down, you can work also with it, but with special engineering practices. This is the last thing at this point, and I did it about a month and a half ago. Here we were told by the mayor of Karak that they are going to make the Karak beach in this area. So we just made a very quick run. What is the situation of this area? We found that all the area in blue is actively deforming, but the area in the red, it's not. So if you want to build something, you can build it on the area inside the red thing after making full-scale studies of the area. Don't take our very quick study as something that you can rely absolutely upon. It needs very special care, in fact, but this is the power of the early warning system. We presented our work to the European community to be financed, 200 million euros for 5 years. They told us your project was ranked 6th, it's excellent, from 130 international projects, and they supported the first 5. Why do they have to bother about this? Is there any reason to look favorably on projects related to this area if they have better alternatives? We don't know. We are following the Dead Sea, in fact, from 1953 to 2016, with what is available to us freely from the international colleagues and sometimes agencies who are starting to give us this possibility just to advertise for the works. This is the Italian satellite Sentinel-2 satellite we are working with, and this is the last paper which is under discussion, still under discussion. It went to some reviewers. They curtailed us in some parts of this work, but I think it's going to be published. And in it, we put the area where it appeared 10 days before the accident which took place in this area. And I have it in full pictures, as you can see. It supports very quickly. The red debt is not going to solve the problem. This is the declaration of the late Minister of Water, Dr. Al-Alam, Allah yarhamu, and he said clearly that لن يتم تنفيذ المشروع إلا بعد 30 عام في حال توفرت النية الحسنة. هذا الحكي حكاه في سنة 2008. In 2008 he said this. It's not going to be done for the next 3 years if goodwill exists, and up to now there's nothing done in the field. ICWRAE also on November 18, 2018, this is the Amman beach or something like that, Dead Sea Beach accident in Hirat Corniche al-Bahar. They just said that it will cost only 200,000 GDs, something, nothing can be paid. The project itself is about 32 million GDs, but this is going just to quote it. I think it's not going to be the end of the story. They can continue it, but they will have to pay much more and sometimes casualties to do that. With our early warning system, the case is going to be like that for our countries. Without it, they will fail and become like the other side. So you can choose. Or like this. Early warning system without early warning system. Maybe like this also. Thank you for your attention.
شكرا للأستاذ الدكتور نجيب أبو كركي رئيس جامعة الحسين بن طلال على هذه المداخلة القيمة. Thank you for His Excellency Dr. Najib Abou Karaki for this lecture, and now I invite the second speaker to this session, Dr. Muhammad Al-Haj.